What's up guys, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and we've got a very special unboxing for you guys today. We have two devices here, the Oppo Find X2 Neo as well as the Oppo Find X2 Lite. Big thanks to Oppo for partnering with me for this video. These are some of the most affordable 5G devices you'll be able to get right now. Let's go ahead, get them unboxed and see what they've got to offer. And here is everything that you get inside the box. So as well as the devices themselves, you do get a USB Type-A to USB Type-C cable. You get a VOOC 4.0 charger. Now this can actually top up your device fully within an hour, so around 56 minutes, or you can also get around a 50% charge in just 20 minutes, which is very, very impressive. Both devices also come with a SIM card ejector tool, some paperwork, a clear case, so you can go ahead and start using your device straight away and it's going to be protected. You're not going to have to go out and get a separate case. And finally, we do get some earphones. You've got USB Type-C earphones for the Neo, and for the Lite, you've got 3.5mm. Now let's move on to the devices. You can see some of the key features here on these screen protectors, which we'll take off. And here are the devices. The first thing you'll notice is the build and the design. We do have very premium materials here. There's a metal frame with curved glass panels on the back. Starting with the Neo, you can see that we've got this very striking starry blue color, which is a gradient between purple, blue, light blue. Looks very, very slick. And it's also got a matte finish, which I really like. The Lite comes in the Moonlight black color that we have here. This has a glossy finish, and depending on the way the light hits it, you do get a hint of blue, which looks really nice. Now the Neo is also available in a Moonlight black color, and the Lite is also available in a pearl white color. Now what's impressive about both these devices is how thin and light they are. The Neo is just around 171 grams and it's around 7.7 millimeters thin. The Lite is around 181 grams and it's just around 7.94 millimeters thin. This makes these some of the thinnest 5G devices out there. And what's even more impressive is that both these devices do have a 4025 milliamp hour battery. So that's a pretty large battery for devices this size. It's going to get you through the full day along with that fast charging. Now let's take a look at the front. So both devices do have OLED technology. The Neo has a 6.5-inch display, and this is a 90 Hz display. It supports HDR10 Plus, and it's also got a peak brightness of around 1100 nits. You've got a punch out for the front-facing camera. The sides are curved and you've got minimal bezels, which means you are getting a very high screen-to-body ratio. This is mostly all screen, but my favorite thing about the Neo is that 90 Hz refresh rate. This makes animations very, very smooth. When you're scrolling through social media, when you're gaming, you're really going to be noticing this. And this really does make it one of the best displays in the market at this price point. Now for the Lite, which is coming in at a cheaper price point, you do get a 6.4-inch display, and this has a water drop notch for the front-facing camera. Now both devices also have an in-display fingerprint scanner, so you can just tap on the area to unlock your devices, which is very convenient. Internally, both devices are powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset, which enables 5G. Now this is a very capable chipset, and it's also integrated 5G, which is a lot more power efficient. The Lite comes with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, whereas the Neo comes with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. So you've got plenty of storage and RAM on both devices here. Now let's move on to the cameras. Both devices do have a 32-megapixel front-facing camera. Both do also have a portrait mode for the blurry background shots. And moving on to the rear, both devices do have a quad camera setup. Starting off with the Neo, you've got a 48 megapixel primary camera, which does have the Sony IMX586 sensor. This has an aperture of f1.7 and also has optical image stabilization. This is what you're going to be using for most of your shots. But you also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. This is going to allow you to get in a lot more into your shots. The field of view for this is around 116 degrees. You then get a 13 megapixel telephoto camera, which is going to give you optical zoom and up to 5 times hybrid zoom. So that's going to allow you to get in much closer to your subjects. And finally, you also get a 2 megapixel black and white camera as a bit of a bonus. Now the Find X2 Lite also has a 48 megapixel primary camera with an f1.7 aperture. This also has the Sony IMX586 sensor. It has an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera with around a 119 degree angle of view. And then we've got 2 bonus cameras here as well. One is a 2 megapixel black and white camera, as well as a 2 megapixel retro camera. Now both devices do support ultra steady video, which is going to really help with stabilization. And both devices also come with the SoLoop video editor. So you're going to be able to film as well as edit your videos right here on the smartphones themselves. Now the Lite has a single bottom firing speaker, but you do get a 3.5mm jack. So all of your old headphones and earphones are going to work with this right outside of the box. The Neo does not have a 3.5mm jack, but you do have stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. So one is bottom firing and one is in the earpiece. For software, we do have ColorOS based upon Android 10. And finally, pricing and availability. The Neo is starting at around £600, whereas the Lite is starting at just around £400. That is very impressive considering what you're getting, as well as 5G. And even if 5G is currently not available in your area, these devices will be future-proof. If you want to pick up one of these devices, I'll be leaving some links in the description below. They are available from multiple different retailers. What do you guys think of the Oppo Find X2 Neo as well as the Oppo Find X2 Lite? Definitely let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future coverage. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.